March 13, 1943. 26, Murray Street. St. John, NB. Dear Margie. Received the parcel of shoes etc. today, and thanks a lot, darling. Today is like a late spring day, warm and bright. I went for a long walk around the river, then stopped in at the museum on the way back. They have quite a mineral collection, all provincial samples. I gathered a list of the rocks around here and intend trying my hand at prospecting. There are a couple of rocks right near the town, so we'll go out tomorrow, weather providing, and see what I can see. The hills outside the town are really swell, dear. I wished you could have been with me. I get kind of lonesome wandering around by myself. Most of the lads are either married with their wives here or go with the single lads with someone else's wife or girlfriend. It seems to be quite a town for that. But back to the scenery, the place is similar to Muskoka in some ways, although the hills are steeper and there doesn't seem to be the trees around. However, as I say, it is really picturesque. So, you nearly won a $50 bingo, eh? Don't tell me my wife is developing bingoitis or something terrible like that. But so long as you have a good time, that's all that matters, eh? I am well over half through the first lap of the course that is drawing geometric figures in ink. I'll be glad when I start on plan work. It's much more interesting and not so tedious. I have to get a hold of some kind of drawing board so I will be able to practice at night and try to finish up the house plans I mentioned. I have worked on them a couple of nights, but there are still a few angles to iron out before putting it on paper. I want it perfect as to scale so I can work a good material estimate. So, all we will have to do is get the prices and cost down, also the price to build it with, but there is lots of time before we start worrying about that, and by that time, we will probably find something we like better. However, it's fun planning, especially when you will be the housekeeper, oh boy. Monday, I am going to mail a letter airmail. You check the time it takes, then we can use it the odd time when we want to write something special, such as when you want to tell me what train to meet you on, I hope. Well, darling, guess this is about all the news for the present. You see, I am taking your advice and using both sides of the paper. The truth is, I forgot to get writing paper when I came in, and these are the last 2 sheets I have here. We'll write Monday, dear. There is no pickup Sunday, so all my love to Margie. As ever. Roger. P.S. Yes, dear, it's Gil, all right. Put the clipping in my scrapbook. Love. R. March 14, 1943. 26, Murray Street. St. John, NB. Dear Margie. Here it is Sunday evening, darling, and a swell day it's been, bright and sunny, although the wind was rather cool. Young Coles and I went for a walk around the shore of the cove and up the river for 2 or 3 miles. As we were walking along the shore, a lady came out of a house and invited us in. In fact, she insisted so, and we went. Her husband was an old shipbuilder, and between the two of them they told us the history of the town. It must have been a busy place a few years ago when the logs and lumber came down the river. They invited us back any time we wish, so intend taking them at their word. The old fellow told us to help ourselves to a boat any time we want one, so when you come down, we will be able to explore along the river shore. After we left there, Coles and I walked up the river bank to an old quarry that was away up in the cliffs, and did we ever get a swell view of the whole countryside. I got a few new samples, a piece of pure white marble like snow, also a good-sized piece of agate, and a piece of flint stone. There is a lot of rock around here I want to get samples from. When you come down, I'll make a regular geologist out of you. Well, this about covers my day here, dear. A couple of times when wishing you were with me to enjoy the outing. I kept wondering what you would be doing. I even tried to figure out just the correct direction Toronto was in. I could see a long ways in that direction but couldn't see you. Guess you were in the house, eh? But no fooling, Margie, we are a long way apart, and 4 months is a long time. It's our chance to spend the longest time together we have had yet, and will get until this war is over, whenever that will be. Well, dearest, this will be all for tonight. I will add to it in the morning, and I'm going to try airmail, so check the time it takes to arrive. Well, night-night for now, darling. Monday. 2 p.m. Just came in, darling, to find your airmail on the table. For a minute I expected to read you were on your way. As I read on down the page, I became a little disappointed, as we said there are some angles to work out. The only one that worries me is the leaving of your job after receiving holidays. So as for working down here is concerned, there are lots of work for girls, but you won't be taking any steady job. Don't forget, as long as you made enough to look after the insurance and get your face back to Ontario, that's all that's necessary. Our total allowance from the army would take care of us, as I get $1.25 a day subsistence and $20 pay. You get a total of $55, so that would give us $112 a month. Here is another thing I have found out regarding the NCO course. Some of the lads, when finishing here, go back to camp and take the NCO course until the next draft leaves. Then they are given their stripes and sent over with the draft and finish on the other side, where they get a better course. That means anytime up to 2 months. This is only rumor, but it has happened, and by the way things are shaping up, it will happen again. I don't want to scare you, darling, but you might better know now than have us find out in Petawawa. If you gave a month notice and waived the holiday pay, could you manage to get down here on that? After all, May 15th will only give a little over 1.5 months, maybe 2 months. I know it puts you in a fix, dear, and I can't do much about it. Another thing, if you come down here, forget the spring coat. Get a raincoat instead and bring your red coat. I am told that we are not issued with summer clothes until after the 1st of July and turn them in August. It's never really hot here, the evenings always cool. Well, darling, it's getting on and I must shave for school, and dinner will be ready by 3, so must shake a leg. There isn't much news for today, and I think I covered everything in yesterday's part of this letter. Today is payday. I hope sometimes we have to wait when we first land here, but I hope it's not the case with me, although I have a couple of bucks left. I will write again tomorrow, darling, and enclose a couple of sketches of the house I am planning. They will just be view sketches, not plans, as the latter takes a lot of time and figuring. I will finish the sketches tonight and mail them tomorrow. So, until then, darling, all my love to Margie, with a big shoes from her hubby sent by aeroplane. As ever. Roger XXXX. P.S. This letter will be collected at 6 o'clock tonight. March 16, 1943. Dear Margie. Just a few lines, darling. It's about 1 o'clock and I am going down to the local show where we are able to see the first part of a double bill. Fantasia is on, and if it is the first picture, I'm going in. I have seen it once but could stand it again, so I'm hoping that it's the first picture show. Went to school last night, pay night, but my pay papers aren't in yet, so we'll have to go to the district paymaster and swear in a tour. Is this army ever one-sided? Imagine a private being so negligent or careless about his work. No wonder the war lasts so long. I am shipping the watch today, dear. This is what I find the matter. It has always run slow, but lately it keeps stopping. I think it's the sweep second hand sticking or loose. You can see how it jumps instead of running smoothly. It's either that or some dirt inside. It has never had a jar or knock to injure it, dear, so don't let them tell you that. Another thing, it keeps good time if laying flat on a table. It only acts up while on my wrist. Well, that's enough about the watch. What do you think about my proposal in the air mail letter? I mean about coming down by the 15th of April. I hope you can make it by then, otherwise the time down here will be short, won't it? Just finished reading your letter written Saturday. It was air mail, but today is Tuesday, pretty slow I should say. You say you can't get away until May, but I am disregarding that statement for a while. I hope the teacup reader is right, it sounds good. Well, darling, this is all for the present, all my love, sweetheart, so bye for the present, we'll write tomorrow. As ever. Roger XXXX.